Welcome to HyVee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine HyVee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. It's the HyVee Today show with Tony Tone. Good to be with you on Wednesday. Let me see if I got this right. Wednesday, August 26th. Because when I woke up today, I woke up a couple of times. I think my wife has a migraine, anyways, if you get migraines, holy moly, I think I've had one bad headache in my life. My wife gets really bad migraines, and I try to empathize, and then I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm going to try and be quiet because your head hurts. And then the kids are like, bah! And it's like, okay. So anyways, this show is brought to you by Starbucks and Thoughts and Prayers. First thing we'll do is the Lutheran Living Senior Campus weather forecast, and hot and humid. A high of like 95 or 96 today. Tonight, clear and humid, a low of 71. And then tomorrow, on Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 94. Now, here's the thing. We were just kind of watching, and Kevin Phelps from KWQC is on TV right now, a friend of mine. He has his 7-day forecast. And it basically goes 95, 93, 91, and then on Saturday, the high is only 79. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a storm on Friday night that'll pull all the heat and humidity, and then we'll get into the 70s, which is okay. So just pay attention. I know that like school in Wilton is getting out at 1 o'clock today. So there's probably going to be a heat advisory if there's not one already. Check in on people, make sure they're okay. Some folks don't like to turn on air conditioning fans. We get stubborn as we get older. I'm fully aware of that. Just tell them that, it's okay to turn a fan on or an air conditioner just to get through the next couple of days. Happy birthday to my brother Phil, who has a birthday today, and he is 34. Carry the one. Yes, he's 34. So here's a couple pictures from back in the day. Now, I told you I've been an OG Batman fan. Look at that shirt. Look at those missing teeth. And then that's myself, the large kid, my brother Phil, and then our baby brother Brian, who just turned 30. And then below that, you can see how my mom just let Phil's hair go. My brother Phil's hair almost looks like our first guest's hair a little bit. Phil had a lot of curly blonde hair back in the day. And kind of inexplicably, because my hair is not blonde. My father's hair, So, but happy birthday to Phil. Whether he sees this birthday shout out, at least my mom will see it later, and she'll be like, that was really nice. You gave Phil a birthday shout out. And I'll be like, and I sent him a card, Mom. But I'm not bragging. Today's Wellness Wednesday at the store. You can save 10% off all health and beauty care purchases, all health market purchases, and all organic produce. So whether you need a bunch of bananas, or Chris told me a hand of bananas, that's what a bunch of bananas can also be known as, a hand of bananas. And then if you buy an individual banana, it would be a finger, I guess. So the more you know. And we have organic bananas that would be 10% off. All right. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And the caffeine and the espresso is really kicking in. So we have that for you. On the back page of the newspaper, there's a brand new ad that starts today here at the store. And this is weird because I was off last week, so I've looked at this ad like 3 times, but since I didn't help design it, like I can't even sit here and tell you off the cuff what's on it. But if you peek over my shoulder, I think you can see some of the deals are behind me, so that's kind of nice. So check that out. Here we go. We've got, hey, look, bananas. Okay, perfect. We've got bananas, we've got orange juice, Bud or Bud Light, Mums for $5, Hy-Vee sour cream, frozen potatoes, some candy, potato chips, Powerade, good price on rotisserie chicken, pork chops, and then a fantastic deal on Pepsi products. And don't forget, your breakfast can save you money on gas. I wish I would have waited a day. I got an omelet yesterday. Breakfast $4.99 and above, 10-cent fuel saver. That's a great opportunity to save. So that's on the back page of the newspaper, and we want you to come and take advantage of those deals. All right, last but not least, really quick, and then we'll get to our first guest. I told my friend Kirby Wynn, who was here yesterday, that I would keep promoting the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center and their blood drive that's happening tomorrow right next door. The derecho, the storm, derecho, closed the Cedar Rapids donor locations for almost 2 weeks. That's a lot of blood donations that were not able to happen. And if you can donate blood tomorrow, you'll get a 25-cent fuel saver from us and a voucher for a $10 gift card from the folks at the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center. You have to schedule your appointment online. It's right next door to where we're doing the show. I hope you'll consider donating blood and helping to make a difference. All right, speaking of people that have been making a difference and have found themselves in the Cedar Rapids area, I don't know if Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army made it to Marion, but I can ask him that now. Or have you spent the majority of your time in Cedar Rapids the last couple weeks?
So, I think.
Yeah, because you don't really know.
Cedar
Right.
Rapids.
I was going to say.
I know that
Yeah.
I've been, my location, I've been posted up at the Hy-Vee store.
Okay.
On First Avenue.
Okay.
I think that's in Wellington area, Wellington Park area.
Sure.
And then I've been driving around in the canteen, handing out food to people and just checking on them, handing out supplies, that kind of thing. So
Do you
maybe I've been to Marion.
you very well could have,
Could have
right?
been.
Again, you guys been in town for over a year. You've done so much good with the Salvation Army, Giant Red Kettle, slept outside, pandemic, feeding hundreds of people,
Whew,
going through thousands of pounds of food, and then a hurricane shows up in Iowa. I mean,
right?
Nobody ever could have predicted that would happen. Someone like yourself, I don't want to say that you're no stranger to disaster, and I'm not trying to downplay what happened, but when you get to Cedar Rapids, what's your first impression? Because I feel like I haven't been there, I've seen pictures, but I probably don't understand the scope of what happened to those folks.
People who haven't been on location, they won't understand the scope because it's not really been covered very well in the media. So coming in on the highway, the first thing you start to see some trees that have been looks like somebody just took a big hand and just plucked off the top, and there's just looks like it's stripped. Once you get on the highway, you come into town, you can see houses from the highway, and you start seeing gaping holes in roofs. You start seeing trees that are topple on houses. You start seeing roofs that are just tore off, and that something powerful that we haven't seen the likes of ever blew through and took an entire community of, I don't know the population of Cedar Rapids, I'm sure
it's a lot.
Thousands, off guard in a very short amount of time. And so it was one of those things where, I was at home and I had just had eye surgery that Friday, and then Monday was the derecho hit. I was sitting at home and I was like, oh, there's a storm on the way.
Right.
I didn't know it was forecasted because it's blue sky outside. Boom! And then, so it hit Cedar Rapids, was like the eye of the storm.
It just was there. It was 51 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand. It kind of parked for 51 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, in Muscatine, I was here, and it just kind of. I mean, you had a video of your neighbor's trampoline that took a little tumble. It kind of whipped through, and it kept on cruising down, 61 and 80. But in Cedar Rapids, it just kind of sat and really messed him up. So
I just couldn't believe it.
So Salvation Army, just so people understand, and awesome pictures and coverage there. So just so people understand, though, Lieutenant Greg Bach is you help people in your own backyard, but when something like this happens, you go because it's the right thing to do.
It is, and we in Salvation Army we have this saying amongst ourselves that we are one army in many different locations. So if we can help each other out by, and my wife and I are blessed in Muscatine in that we have a good staff, and she's also an officer, so she can handle Muscatine, and I can go to Cedar Rapids and assist in disaster response. So it's a great setup in that we have the flexibility to do so. I actually didn't know I was supposed to request permission to go to Cedar Rapids.
Oh, whoops! So
we get this money from the church, from Vineyard.
Cool.
And I go up Monday and I say, hey, here's a check for $1,600. And
that's incredible.
They go, hey, do you have anybody in your Salvation Army location that can work EDS? And I go, oh yeah, my wife and I are trained. We have workers that can come.
Yeah.
And the incident commander goes, can you come up and help? So I'm like, the incident commander requested, I'm gonna go. So I go, and I went every day.
Wow.
for the remaining of last week, and Saturday and Sunday.
Jeez Louise.
And I got the email saying, thank you so much for your help in Cedar Rapids.
But
just so you know, you're a newer lieutenant now. You can't claim you're still a new guy. You have to let somebody know when you're going to leave your location.
But that's, I guess there's protocols and procedures, but to your credit, you're the kind of person that just wants to act because it's the right thing to do. And what were you finding in Cedar Rapids, again, not that far from here? It's like an hour, right?
Yeah.
It's really just like 1 hour. What were you finding that, because we've had a couple pictures and a variety of different supplies. I mean, the thing that really was tough for me is when there were pictures of people like living in tents.
In their front yard.
And there's kids. And so was it meals? Was it clothing? I mean, what were people coming to you for?
So
anything? Because I imagine they were also everybody was humbled by this storm.
Yeah.
And then it's, tough to recover from that. But just talk about that.
Yeah, here's the one thing that really struck me was that Salvation Army is really a hub for help, right? And just down on the same road, just a few houses down, there's people with trees on their front porch, on their homes, cars that were crushed by trees that had fallen, and people living in tents right down the road from the Salvation Army where we're known to help. The building itself in Salvation Army had the roof blown off the gym.
Oh my gosh.
So they're down in the basement, they come up after everything, and the roof's on the ground. The air conditioning units are on the ground. And so they had to kind of collect themselves first, but they were the first ones responding because we were in the neighborhood.
Yeah, sure.
So we had mobilized units almost immediately out to help. So people that lost power knew it was going to be a while before they could get it back on. So there was a request for, of course, food, hot meals. They didn't have power in their homes to cook. They lost all their refrigerator, their freezer stuff. That was all gone. If a tree took out their house or took out a bedroom of their home, then of course that allowed rain to get in and things to blow around. So they lost their clothing, their furniture. A lot of people lost their cars.
Wow.
I mean, driving down the road of even the road that the Corps is on, C Avenue Northwest, in Cedar Rapids, there were massive trees that were just, maybe the house wasn't even touched. Maybe the house was perfect. But these people couldn't go anywhere because their cars were just smashed.
It's
and
terrible.
You're driving through and you have to duck. I'm in the car, like ducking in the car, like I'm going to hit something on my head because these branches are just hanging down in the streets. And it literally looked like
Jeez Louise.
A bomb went off on every single road in Cedar Rapids that I drove down. And I covered the city pretty broadly.
Yeah.
And besides the big highway areas where there's not a lot of trees, the residential areas, I don't think there was one row that wasn't affected by this storm.
Well, and that's what the mayor of Cedar Rapids and the mayor of Marion said when the president was in Cedar Rapids. They basically said, I think it was the mayor of Marion, that 90 or 95% of all buildings had some type of damage. I don't want to misquote the mayor on that, but that was pretty accurate to what he said. And that's wild to think about. And I've been here, 8 years, been through 2 tornadoes for sure, right? And you can see, and there was a tornado that kind of came through the south part of town, went up 3rd Street Hill, and ton of damage, trees down, but nothing like what happened. Is it the worst thing that you had to respond to, given your time with the Salvation Army? And I'm not looking for number one worst, but I mean, you've experienced a lot. But
well, growing up in the Assemblies of God, we had the Convoy of Hope, which is another big disaster relief, just like Samaritan's Purse. So think Samaritan's Purse for the Billy Graham Association. Convoy of Hope is the Samaritan's Purse of the Assemblies of God. So I've done work with them before in the past. Growing up as the son of a fireman, I'm sure son of a police officer, you've heard the disaster scene stories that my dad loved to tell in front of people of these things. So you have a picture in your mind and you see on TV and movies, but you just don't quite understand it until you're on location. So this was probably the worst I've seen, not on a coast, or not in a wildfire area. Northern Michigan, there were wildfires that sprang up in UP, Upper Peninsula, in the Lower Peninsula, Michigan. I've seen that, but to see just the amount of widespread devastation and the stunned look on people's faces. Wildfire, you have, people say, hey, you're going to have to evacuate soon. Tornadoes, the technology now is able to forecast, sirens go off a little bit. This thing was just like, boom.
There it was, yeah.
Yeah, so it was probably one of the worst things I've experienced. And it was important for me to go and just go because we're trained as officers in the Salvation Army on emergency disaster response, right? But we just had classroom instruction then. And so it was important for me to be there and really experience and to take it all in.
Yep.
As this, within the first 2 years of my officership, responding to a big disaster.
Well, and if anything, God forbid something like that happen in your own backyard, now you're that much more prepared and you know what people are going to need.
Yeah.
Whether it's flooding, and that's happened in this area, like I said, severe weather has happened, certainly. This experience will give you a new perspective for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So that you could almost say, hey, here's some things we might just need to have readily available. Not wanting something to happen. I mean, you just got, not that I was going to say just got through a pandemic. Not that it's over, but certainly had to learn on the fly with that. And I want to get to some after school care programs, and I'm not going to talk about Duratio the whole time, but what you're going back this week.
Yeah.
Is there anything for people that are watching, like Tara Riggin, who's watching, and Adam, and everybody that's on Facebook, that I can see? People care in Iowa. You know that they want to, help each other back up after they fall down. It's just sort of like, I was talking yesterday, people showing up with chainsaws and trucks ready to cut up trees and just do the right thing. Are there things, do you think, that this week folks would need compared to a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
The biggest thing that I can say is if you can support the disaster relief organizations, because they're on the ground and they know exactly who they're working with. I was on a call this morning at 8 o'clock, and they're talking about the need for documents to be interpreted because there's like 5 or 6 different ethnic groups in Cedar Rapids that can't get help because they don't know how to read an English document. So if people can just support the disaster relief organizations, Samaritan's Purse, Red Cross, Salvation Army, that'd be probably the best thing to do. Here's an example, because we got tarps in yesterday at Salvation Army.
Wow.
And I called Red Cross to see what there was. They said, Lieutenant, we are having a hard time getting rid of our tarps right now.
Oh, wow.
Because it's 2 weeks out now and tarps are on the roof already. It was an immediate need right when it happened, but it's not so much now. So the needs are, as it's getting further out of like ground day, the day it happened, the needs are starting to change, wants versus needs. One thing that people will start experiencing is just almost like the PTSD of it. Almost like the post-traumatic, I just lived through a hurricane, Category 5 hurricane in Iowa kind of deal. So
and how do they recover?
Yeah, be a listening ear for family there, or if you can support the schools up there or churches. There was a lot of just people that showed up with their cars full of bottled water and generators and things of gas. So the area is pretty much saturated with feeding programs. We did that for 2 days at a center location with FEMA. We handed out hot meals. There's a thing called like Operation Rescue Barbecue or something like that, where they they land at an airport and you can take your canteen and then fill it up with barbecue and go out in location and just feed. So
it's incredible.
There's good resources on the ground. They have a very, it's called Lap Aid. It's a very good co-ad in Cedar Rapids and Lynn County. So I would say just if support the organizations that are there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you can donate a lot of these places. You can donate online easily and just maybe, mention where you want it to go. You spent a lot of time in Cedar Rapids. I was off last week, and I didn't realize how many people from this store were up in a couple different Cedar Rapids HyVee stores had damage and were helping. And, my coworker Skip Armstrong said he spent a lot of time in one of the HyVee, I think Cedar Rapids 7, like helping crank out meals that were going out. They were feeding all the linesmen. And one of the coolest and maybe most powerful things that we saw driving back from Des Moines not this Monday before, all the utility trucks going towards Cedar Rapids. I'm not saying like 2, I'm saying like there was a convoy of like 12. And I just knew, they all had the buckets, and if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me, but they were all going to Cedar Rapids. And there have been people that have been coming in, I had met a group from Philadelphia that were with an insurance company that were just like, we're in Cedar Rapids trying to get checks in people's hands so that they can recover.
Well, that's like Anthem. Amerigroup is there this week, and they have 50,000 meals.
Wow.
That they're handing out in like a 5-county area that was impacted by the disaster. So that's people
unbelievable.
Businesses that you do, business with daily.
Yeah.
That you might not think would step up, like an insurance company.
Sure.
Like you think of insurance like, oh, they're taking my money, and when I need them, they're there to help me repair stuff. They're showing up with hot meals and bottled water and just
fantastic.
being present.
It's a hurricane during a pandemic. You can't write a crazier movie. You can't.
No, yeah.
I mean, this is like a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis movie wrapped into 1 year. Like, what's next? Hopefully nothing is next.
Can we just have like a month of just nothing happening?
Wouldn't it be nice if September, outside of my birthday month, was just quiet?
The meteor's supposed to hit, right? There's a 1% chance that the meteor's going to strike the United States.
Isn't that November, though?
I
don't know.
Like that's still out there.
We had killer hornets. We've had a hurricane. We've literally... And it started with snow on Halloween last year.
Right,
We really should have known. It was nice
down.
I remember I had my kids at the park on Christmas. It was so nice. We should have known something was up. It's all because you slept in a red kettle outside this store.
Sorry.
You did it.
That's my big stress now is like,
bell.
how are we going to be able to do this Christmas season?
Yeah, so I want to talk about back to school.
Yeah.
Salvation Army after school program seems, and by the way, utility truck driving down 61 as we're talking right now. So school starts Monday, this past Monday in Muscatine. I guess I didn't know, but you guys are doing after school program at the Salvation Army. So how does that work? Are there spaces available?
Yeah.
And how does it look different than from non-pandemic?
There's still spaces available, plenty of spaces. I think I talked to Mary this morning. There's 13 students signed up now.
Okay.
She said, please put the word out for volunteers. So Mary, here you go. Here's your plug. We need volunteers for after school program. Kids are getting checked when they come in from after school. They're getting provided with PPE masks and hand sanitizer. They have probably a crate that stays with them with everything that they need in it.
Sure.
They just move around the building with. They maintain social distancing, and really it's. We talked before about normalcy. How do we maintain a sense of normalcy for the kids if there even is a thing right now?
Sure.
And I think that getting into the routine of after school program for kids that would normally come is a good thing,
Definitely.
Along with being in classroom instruction. So I think that that providing that is a good mental health step for the kids.
I agree.
And
100%.
creating that normalcy for them.
I think that structure, for sure with my kids, yes, they need to be in school. Perfect. Chad's got the info.
Boom, there it is.
On the screen. So, listen, get the kids to the Salvation Army. Is there a criteria?
No.
What do they need
free.
to do? It's free.
There's
oh my
no
gosh.
charge for this.
Do they have, and as it says right there, transportation. So if a parent's like, oh my gosh, I really need help with kids after school, but I can't get them from school to your location, you can help them with that?
Yeah, we can attempt to hopefully get a bus to bring them down.
Awesome.
If not, we're not supposed to transport people yet in our vehicles, our big passenger vans.
Don't get yourself in more trouble.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're going to say.
Because all the seats are out of it, and I fill it with things every day, it seems like. But we can help with like bus vouchers and that kind of thing to ride the Musca bus if people need to.
So what about Salvation Army skateboards? Have you thought about that? Maybe not. I don't want to forget.
I think we provided helmets and knee pads. Maybe that'd be a thing. Yeah. Scooters.
Yeah. But it's important to know space available for after school care. And the need for volunteers. So if someone wanted to volunteer, perfect opportunity for somebody that's maybe retired.
Yeah.
What times would they be there?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea?
It's really from like 3 to 5. Whatever's on that flyer.
So you could call it like 2:45 to 5:30 maybe for a volunteer.
Yeah.
So 2:45 to 5:30, help out. Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. for kindergarten to 6th grade.
There we go.
I think you're right. I
3 to
think
5.
routine is important. I think kids getting back into, even if they're wearing a mask at school, you have 3 kids in school. I have 2, and Ted started kindergarten yesterday. had to wear the mask, had a great time. Best part about that, he was tired after school, and my wife had a break.
I was looking for the video, his report back video from his first day of school.
He was tired, man. And then they got into our trampoline that now has a sprinkler on it, and they were like exhausted. It was kind of nice. So yeah, they did good, and I'm super happy to have them back. I don't want to neglect this comment on Facebook from my boss, Hy-Vee store director Matt Schweitzer, says, I heard a rumor that Greg is sleeping in the kettle again this year. Can you confirm?
I can probably confirm that.
Is that a rumor?
Is that a challenge? Like I can.
Is this something that you've discussed, or is this breaking news?
Have Matt and I discussed this?
Well,
I mean, I've mentioned it to him. Okay. I asked him if the store will be open 24 hours again, because if it's not, I'm gonna have like a porta potty in the basement of the kettle, you know.
What if we just got you a key? Like, we get you a key. There's people working overnight here.
Oh,
we'll get you a key. Hey, we'll get them a key.
Why
not? Because if we close at 11, I feel like giving you a key.
Oh yeah,
You're trustworthy.
I
mean, if I took like on a scale of people I trust you a lot. I wouldn't trust you with a lot of Starbucks drinks in the kettle because a lot of those spilled. But I feel like a key to the building, you would not, unless one day Greg's like, Lieutenant Bach's like, Tony, I can't find the key, and then I'm like, did you look under those Starbucks cups that are in the corner of the kettle? But yeah, you're right, and I want to mention this. You are, getting ready to help kids with back to school program, but certainly your focus has to now be starting to get ready for another Red Kettle campaign. And it just feels like yesterday you're sleeping outside, you're ringing the bell, you exceed your kettle goal for the first time ever, and then the world shifts and it gets wild. So for people to probably hear us say Red Kettle campaign, it might be like, that is way too soon. And I get that, but it is probably on your radar, isn't
Spring break just ended.
Right, it did just
end.
Kids
just went back to school from spring break.
This is
We're
true.
talking kettle campaign already.
Right.
But the need is, with COVID, the need's, I think, greater than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to be strategically lined up and set up to be able to meet the needs when they arise. And, this whole deal of... we used to just do $50 for people, and they'd have to go through all the hoops and all the other, things. I think that being able to do more for them to give them the breathing room.
Sure.
So Liz is looking at it. We have a budget presentation due, I think, tonight to our division headquarters.
Yeah.
And she has said, we're really over the budget in our assistance. I said, yeah, but we had so much come in for assistance. That's okay. Yeah. We budgeted a certain amount, but more came in to help, and that's perfect. So my kettle goal this year, I'm not going to put it on the budget that it's $200,000, but I'm going to shoot so hard to raise $200,000 for this kettle season, and I need the help to do it. I need, we had to pull all the stops this year to be able to raise this money because. Is there a national coin shortage? That really gave me a heart attack when I heard that, because
I don't know if I agree.
The Red Kettle,
we haven't been impacted by that here as far as a coin shortage. I'm not saying that I don't know. I mean, it seems like the mints were maybe shut down for a while, but yeah. So are people going to be able? Are you going to have bell ringers? Do you know yet?
There's a call at 1:30 today. Today, another one about the kettle season. It looks like. They asked us if we needed new tags for the kettle, so
that's a good sign. Yeah,
the kettles aren't going anywhere, although they need revamped. Their kettles are over 100 years old too.
If you're worried about handling money or coins, there's always a QR code on a Salvation Army kettle that you can scan from your smartphone if you have one, and you can donate from your phone.
Yeah,
and that's fine too. There are people that certainly. I mean, listen, if you're. If you've got that change that you've been saving in cash, or you write a check, or you're the guy that puts the gold coins in, which are super cool.
Those gold coins, man, bring them on.
$200,000. What was your goal last year?
180.
And you
came in at 192.
Wow.
Now that was at the end of January was 192, because they allow us an extra month for things to get processed that got sent in the mail. People end of year donations come in.
I just it's so different though to have to think about. If you have to get more creative with ways to raise money and awareness. It's also the 20th anniversary of Freezing for Food and Toy Time with Hy-Vee and Kriegers and the community bringing food one week and toys the next week. 20 years the Riggin family at Tantera and the Hawkeye Hauler and the Krieger family, they're all like fired up. They, pre-pandemic, it was like this 2020 is going to be, 20th anniversary is going to be huge. And I still think that's the plan. Yeah. But again, it's just things may have to look different. I want to ask, because we did have a pandemic food pantry drive, how are you looking on food? I mean, are you...
It's getting...
And is the need still
scarce?
Scarce. Today's secret word is scarce. You've served thousands of people. Is the weekly need still in the hundreds? People you've... Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that the cool thing is that, so we're doing another produce giveaway this weekend.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday. And we've been pushing the food pantry through those produce giveaways as well.
Sure.
So more people are showing up now.
Gotcha.
So the Wednesday evening pantry is still going.
Yeah.
That's going strong. Now we have more folks showing up to that. And this is not something where you have to bring income qualifications.
Sure.
Somebody once told me recently that Jesus didn't ask for proof of poor. That was you, by the way.
That was me.
You told me that. Yeah. And so I really appreciated that. So, and it really stuck with me. Yeah, if we can just provide things without having to have an income qualifier on it. We don't know what people's situation is. We don't know what
I just don't like the idea. I feel like if somebody shows up at your building, 1000 South Oregon Street, and is needing either like something to complete a meal, something to help their family, you shouldn't have to have them verify that. Because if I were ever in that position, I would feel bad enough already about having to rely on someone else for help. And then if you show up and then you're put on the spot. Prove it.
That's really kind of what I think this new collaboration is all about, is really making it a streamlined process across all the agencies.
That's awesome.
To make it easier for people to request help. So it's not an application for every agency you have to go to. There's one clearinghouse for all the agencies. I think that's where they're kind of going with that, which I think is a really cool idea. I will say that we need volunteers for the food pantry as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can volunteer at the food pantry, we're trying to go back to a choice pantry. Some people don't agree with that decision, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with it.
Sure.
But it's what's going to work best for us.
Yeah.
I think is to go back to a choice pantry.
Giving people
a grocery
choice.
store is a choice. Yeah. You walk. We can provide PPE. We can provide the masks. We provide what's needed to make it safe for people to come in there and do that. So we need volunteers to work the pantry. We have a new pantry worker in Diana Keene.
Awesome.
Her daughter is Lily Rainier, and she's the officer in my hometown of Alton, Illinois.
Wow.
She's a Salvation Army officer with her husband, Steve Rainier, down there. So...
There's Tara Riggin right there. She's showing us that she's watching the show as she's coming into work.
So
I love it.
So we need
volunteers, after school program, volunteers for the food pantry.
Yeah.
And as always, if you're watching and you have that bank vault full of gold,
we will take
you have all that money you don't know what to do with, and you want to write Lieutenant. What if somebody out there was like, your goal is $200,000 for the Red Kettle? I got a novelty check in my office. I will happily fill it out. $200,000, and then he doesn't have to sleep in the kettle. Matt did send me a text and said, you can have whatever you need. So you get a key to the store, it sounds like.
Sweet. Well,
Isn't
then
that cool?
Let's just set a date.
I'm just not going to tell you what door it unlocks.
We will.
There's a couple of...
Is it going to be I think I know what door it unlocks, because...
The lieutenant's going to be like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I
really
don't know
gotta go.
which door this key opens. It's a mystery. Listen, I'm kidding. That's a joke. I don't want people to think I'm being cruel. But I do think it's exciting that you are going to try and hit that $200,000 mark. It's a lot of money, but it's been proven. Could you imagine if you didn't hit and exceed your goal last year? What would you have done during the pandemic?
We would probably had to cut a lot of services.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, we had
what would have suffered.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even think about it. So we hope, of course, that there's a vaccine and the pandemic gets over with. I want it to get over with. But if we can donate and help and ring a bell and raise awareness for this guy and help him hit that $200,000 mark with the Salvation Army, if things continue,
Yeah.
you'll be able to be there.
Yeah. And
You'll
do
be able
more
to
than
help
we've ever
people
done.
in Muscatine County.
Right.
And then you'll also be able to drive an hour to Cedar Rapids to help fellow Iowans. They got
Yeah.
hit by a hurricane. I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying that. Like, it
What a
doesn't seem
2020
real.
hit by a hurricane.
Is there anything else we need to mention before you try the Toyota Muscatine What's in the Box?
I was in Cedar Rapids yesterday,
Yeah.
and there was a really cool canteen up there. Ours is really old and huge, and is currently dead in the parking lot at Messer Park.
And explain the canteen, Salvation Army canteen
Yeah,
is like an emergency response vehicle.
It's an emergency response
People have
vehicle.
seen
We
it,
can
maybe.
serve out of it. We can
Yeah.
cook small things out of it. We can. When I first got here, I was driving around handing out bottled water, and it's what we use to respond to disaster scenes, fires, natural disasters.
Mm-hmm.
I use one in Northern Michigan to help search for missing kids. Help
Sure.
support the responders there.
Yeah.
There's really cool ones that they have out now. I saw in Cedar Rapids, and I walked in this meeting yesterday, and I told the EDS guy, I said, "Hey, you're from Chicago, and you approve canteens. I need one that looks like that Freeport canteen." And he's like, "Well, who are you?" I said, "Well, I'm Lieutenant Bach from the Muscatine Salvation Army. I need a canteen like that." So he's like, "Well, we'll see what we can do." So
You
we're
just need
gonna
to send
be,
them a picture of your canteen, and then they'll be like, "Oh my gosh,
Right.
we need to get that updated right now."
Here's what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be here forever, unfortunately.
That's the sad
And
part.
I want to leave the Salvation Army
Mm-hmm.
in the very best position that I can leave it in. And part of that, I think, is leaving it with a canteen that is actually
Isn't it
functional.
weird to think that like 4 years is the max that you would be here? 4 more years?
Right.
Wow, that's weird. I'm gonna be here longer than you, I think.
You probably will be.
I'm gonna have so much more gray hair, and you're gonna be like still looking like you're 25 years old over here.
What about long, shaggy hair? I need a haircut.
Tara, please, someone give this guy a haircut, will you? He just said that. That wasn't me. People are gonna think I'm mean
I
to
did.
Lieutenant
I
Bach.
have, yeah.
Tara Riggin wants you to find her before you leave with food pantry details.
Okay.
So that's cool.
She was a rock star for our last,
Tara is awesome.
she and her daughter for our last produce giveaway.
All right, give this a shot. Toyota Muscatine, What's in the Box? Nice paint job on the front of it from Chris Anderson. Did
Oh,
you
wait, I
notice
gotta
that?
see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
look at that.
nice. It
It's
got a
really schmancy.
facelift.
Lieutenant Greg Bach, Salvation Army, Muscatine. You know the drill. Hands
gotta
in,
look.
push the doors open. Don't look. Take a guess. What's in the box? Brought to you by our friends at Toyota Muscatine.
Look at Chris's smile.
Chris is trying to give it away. What's he trying to do?
No, he's just, look at his face.
All right, what do you think it is?
Oh, hang on, that's my phone. That means I have to take my eye drops. I'm really
That's
sorry.
okay, Lieutenant Bach.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
All right. So
You're usually really good at this.
something gummy.
Oh,
I know. Wait, this is the back because that's the flap.
correct, yep.
Okay. Probably nutritional information somewhere around here. Okay.
Yep, you have the back
Turn it
facing.
around.
Yep, there you go.
Let me see if I can get
Ooh.
like a.
You were right.
Is it?
Well, we can take gummy.
Gummy?
It's a healthy gummy for Wellness
I was gonna
Wednesday.
say that because
Look
it's
at that.
Wellness Wednesday.
That's fantastic.
Smashed gummy. Pucker up, baby.
Good job. Gluten-free, all-natural,
Sour.
snackable gummy.
Sour.
Gummy balloons. Wow. You're a rock star. Please let us know if you need anything. Thank you for being here. Thanks for going back to Cedar Rapids to help and to
My
represent
pleasure.
Muscatine.
Yes.
And, we know that should something ever happen in Muscatine like it did in Cedar Rapids, that folks from Salvation Army in Cedar Rapids would come down to help. And
Big shout out to the store management in Cedar Rapids, HyVee store management in Cedar Rapids for
Yeah.
just your.
is that Andy Strait, maybe?
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in Muscatine for a while. I don't know him, but
Yeah, for
he
just
oversees the Cedar Rapids stores. it sounds
Very
like.
compassionate, very
Yeah.
understanding, very open to let us use the parking lot to give us
Yeah.
bags to use. So thank you,
Super
Andy, very
cool.
much for helping us help Cedar Rapids.
All right. Well, so you're going to Cedar Rapids today?
Yep.
Oh
I'm
my
going to-
gosh. All right, we got to get you out of here, I guess. Greg Bach, Salvation Army, Lieutenant Greg Bach, please consider helping out. You can donate online. We're getting ready so volunteers for the after-school program going on now, volunteers for the food pantry going on now, and then looking ahead to Red Kettle season. Phone call at 1:30.
Yeah.
You'll know more details. You can come back on. We can get hyped up for that.
Maybe we can build another red kettle and we can have a competition.
Oh my gosh.
And you can live in one
Another
too.
Red Kettle?
We can have a dueling,
I think
dueling
you need to
pianos,
do the,
dueling red kettle.
Get your boss like it's you and then the boss let's
Major
get
Kelly?
Lieutenant. No, I'm saying let's get Lieutenant Greg Bach and Matt in the kettle.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
have to raise X amount of money to get Matt out, and then Gage Kent can go in there, and all the Kent facilities have to raise
Let's
X amount
do
of
it.
dollars to get him out.
I'm down with that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And then you're in the kettle until you hit that amount.
Yep.
I think it's great. You could have Sherry right there, Sherry Siwasik, walking by. You could have her the whole time if you want.
She knows that I like shoes. She's like...
Your secret's out. All right, let's go CVI Bank and Trust ILCAM, support the Salvation Army, and consider volunteering. Please, it would be a good idea. There's some breakfast sandwiches, by the way, on the screen, and those are on special here at the Market Grill Express where we're doing the show. It's Wednesday morning, the 26th of August, 11 minutes after 9 a.m. if you're watching live. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody that's on Facebook leaving comments, I appreciate it very much. And we love if you are watching live and letting us know. It's just great. All right, so today, besides my brother's birthday, is Women's Equality Day, the 26th of August. I'm the product of strong women. My mom, shout out to her, and my wife, and now I have a daughter, right? So Women's Equality Day is today. It's also Cherry Popsicle Day. And it is National Dog Day. So do you have a dog that you want to share a picture of? You can. You could leave it in the comments if you want to. And here are some popsicles with a little cherry option for Cherry Popsicle Day. I feel like my dog, Archie, is a puggle. And as I was leaving this morning, he was trying to eat a strawberry that was on the counter. So, he's fine. I don't want to say he's spoiled. I had to take Archie to the vet last week when I was off. And by the way, I can't say enough about what Dr. Dan and the crew at Riverside Animal Hospital, what they're doing. You just call them, and then they come and take your dog or your cat from you, and you just can hang out outside. It was great. I'm all in on it's fantastic. Take the dog. I don't have to get out of the car. It was really nice. So that's that, National Dog Day. A couple of things that came in yesterday. I can't believe that we have any of these left. I guess I posted them online a little late in the day, but these will probably be sold out by this afternoon. These are alcohol popsicles. It's a Freezerita. Have you been thinking to yourself, boy, I wish I could have an adult popsicle because my kids or grandkids are just having all the popsicles. Now, listen, if you buy these, make sure you either keep them in the box or you keep them separate from the kids' popsicles because these have alcohol in them. I don't know why I'm saying alcohol weird. They contain 8% alcohol, all right? So it's kind of a novelty. It's 96 degrees out. Enjoy in moderation. This is for people that are 21 and older, all right? I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just trying to tell you, if you buy these, keep them in a spot in the freezer where the kids won't be like, hey, Mom, I grabbed a popsicle and wow, that tastes bad, because we have flavor ice or whatever in my freezer right now. So I'd have to almost put these in the garage fridge to make sure that the kids wouldn't get into them. Speaking of kids, super cool, brand new item at the store, Muskie onesie. I'm almost kind of mad that my daughter is... Now, that being said, there are Muskie shirts that we have also that would fit her. This is a Muskie onesie. Isn't this cool? I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. So shout out to Brent Coolers, General Merchandise Manager, for bringing these in. I love this. It's a great idea. It's kind of in aisle 11, left-hand side, and you should totally check it out. Little Muskie onesie. It's $19.99 right there. One of a kind. And then, if, face masks are part of school, these are awesome. So we've got some officially licensed neck gaiters. So these would go, over the head, and then you pull them up to cover the face. So you've got Spider-Man, you've got Superman, and you've got, is this the Hulk? It's got to be the Hulk, right? I'm trying not to touch it, but it looks like it has the Hulk's face on it. So do they have a Batman one? I don't know. You would have to assume I'd have to get the Batman one if they did. So that's really cool. So, this is part of the new normal for now is the face masks. And check that out. Okay. Sean on Facebook says, the Journal says 25-cent voucher will be offered until September 13th. Are you saying it's good tomorrow only? It was my understanding that to get the 25-cent fuel saver, you had to donate blood on Thursday only, but I will clarify, Sean, with Kirby from the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center. So let me get back to you on that. So anyways, these are cool. Those are cool. I don't want to ignore any comments, right? And then we've got some, listen, I know there's no Hawkeye football, but that's not to say you still can't support your Hawkeyes, right? It's going to be weird, the year without Hawkeye football. That's actually the title of my column this week in the newspaper. Here you go. You got a Hawkeye mug right there. And then you got a Hawkeye glass that you could put, well, whatever you want in it, right? Could be water, could be soda, could be a brewski, could be orange juice, could be chocolate milk. It could be almond chocolate milk. Whatever you want to put in there, we've got them ready to go here at the store. Also some Harry Potter glasses we'll maybe show you tomorrow. All right, and then behind me on the bar, we have brought to life some of the items that are on or in the ad this week. Our ad that's on the back page of the Discover Muscatine newspaper, we have several of those items right behind me, from bananas to orange juice. Look at that right there. Looks good. We've also got Hy-Vee sour cream. So these are items that you can find on the back page of the newspaper. Some Powerade in the mix. We've got some Hy-Vee chips, including maple bacon chips. What? Isn't that wild? So that is really cool. Maple bacon chips. Holy moly. Check that out. All right, so that's on the back page of the paper, as I said. And I have that right here, actually. Chris must have grabbed it. So here you go. You can go from seeing it on the bar behind me to right here. Here's the paper. Pick it up, and there's all the items in the ad this week. Pretty cool. And then I'll show you that I wasn't lying about my column right here. The year without Hawkeye football. That's this week's Talk of the Town. So ad on the back page, ad online, ad on the screen. There it is. All the details right there. Really excited for Doug Siwasink on Facebook says, I am the Batman. Doug, your secret's out then, man. I kind of thought it was Doug, and he just confirmed it. 3-day fuel saver later this week. Normally 2 days. I don't know if we've ever done a 3-day. So this is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, typically 2 days. Every $50 you spend 25 cents on the fuel saver. Fantastic opportunity for you to save some money on gas, which I have no problem saving money on gas. I love the fuel saver. All right, we're going to mention a couple of things and we'll get out of here. Just a reminder again, Wellness Wednesday, 10% off everything in the health market, 10% off all health and beauty care items, 10% off organic produce today and every single Wednesday. You could just put it in your calendar and make sure you come to the store and take advantage of the savings during Wellness Wednesday. It's going on right now. So check that out, and we'll get you all taken care of. I already mentioned tomorrow, the blood drive with the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center right next door, behind that wall. Donate blood. The donor locations in Cedar Rapids were closed because of the storm. They need blood donations. All your donated blood stays, locally to area hospitals in Muscatine and Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. So if you're able to donate blood, please consider doing so. 25-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver and a $10 gift card voucher is what they'll give you. So that's awesome. It's right next door. You just got to schedule your appointment online. We showed you the ad on the paper. I don't have to worry about that. Drive-through flu shots are available a couple days a week here at the store. Don't have to get out of your car now through October 31st. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Saturday, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. You would pull into the parking lot. You would check in at the little red shed in the lot where we do our aisles online. And then it's a little bit of a little paperwork, a little release. And then you pull up to the front of the store and the pharmacist comes out, gives you the flu shot in the arm. Easy breezy without getting out of your car. 20-cent fuel saver, by the way. So whether you get the flu shot in your car or in the store, the 20-cent fuel saver is back with the flu shot, so check that out. Let's see. The front page of the Hy-Vee ad, some hot deals that start today. These are going to be good through Tuesday. So, Chris, look at that. He slides me the ad, and we've got it on the screen. So we've got Hy-Vee fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breast on there. You can see that smart bananas, Dole chopped or premium salad, bone-in pork shoulder, the Hy-Vee butter, Post cereal, Pepsi, And then, of course, calling out the fuel saver. So check that out right on the front page with those deals. They're right there. And they're right here. Ta-da! Look at that. I got it right here. It's tangible. I like tangible stuff. Marvelous, everybody. I mentioned the fuel saver, so I can kind of skip that. We got pumpkin spice lattes back at Starbucks. Holy moly. If you love the taste of fall, there you go. Pumpkin spice latte just rolled out yesterday. Also, Chris's favorite, the pumpkin cream cold brew. And Brad loves the salted caramel mocha frappuccino. It's like a milkshake, pretty much. I don't know how you can call it coffee at that point. Look at that. It looks like a milkshake. So those are very good. They're brand new and available at Starbucks inside the store. They'll take good care of you. That is for sure. Doug says, tell them all that I'm stocking the store with fractured ribs. Wow. Doug is working with now I just want ribs, Doug. Take care of yourself and get us some ribs, won't you? We have just the Muscatine face masks left. I confirmed this yesterday. Went down aisle 6. So face masks, again, whether it's like a Superman neck gaiter, we have the musky ones left. They're $7.99. They're in aisle 6 here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee, and they're while supplies last. So please keep that in mind if you need one. Had 2 folks yesterday as I was helping out in the pharmacy show up and get their shingles shot. So listen, if you're over 50 years of age, we have the shingles shot. We can get you taken care of. As a matter of fact, it was 2 of my neighbors. I won't say who because I don't want to, not something maybe you want to shout out for, but they got their shingles shot. That was fantastic. And walk-ins are welcome. They were in the store. They walked over to the pharmacy. They got them taken care of. It's a series of 2 shots. You get the shingles shot, and then you come back in a couple weeks, you get the second one, and you're good to go. You're protected against shingles, which is something you don't want to have to worry about. And then last but not least, listen, 95 today, 94 tomorrow, still hot on Friday. You can order groceries online. You don't have to leave the air conditioning. Think about it. If you use delivery, right? Hy-Vee works with DoorDash. You could order groceries, and then they'll show up to your house, or you can pick them up, get in your air-conditioned car, drive here. We'll load your vehicle. You don't have to get out. It's super convenient. Same-day groceries available at Hy-Vee.com/grocery or the Aisles Online smartphone app. Download it. Thank you to our friend, Lieutenant Greg Bach with the Salvation Army, for joining us this morning. That guy spent a lot of time in Cedar Rapids helping with cleanup after the derecho storm. And the Salvation Army, again, could use volunteers for their back-to-school, their after-school program that's going on now. And they could also use volunteers at their food pantry, so consider helping out. And we love having Lieutenant Greg Bach on the show. He does a great job. All right, so thanks to CBI Bank and Trust, Toyota Muscatine, and Lutheran Living Senior Campus. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. And if you need anything from me in the meanwhile, HyVeeToday@gmail.com. Use that email address. I'm tired of talking, so we're done. Goodbye.
Watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone.
Be very, very quiet while hunting wabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton this Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, HyVeeToday@gmail.com.